is now called to order. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis.
Present.
Trustee McFadden.
Present.
Trustee Folger.
Present.
Trustee Thompson.
Present.
Trustee Williams.
Here.
Trustee Brooks. Mayor Rudez.
Present. Let's please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Is there a motion to table the minutes? Moved by Trustee Lewis.
Second.
Second by Trustee Thompson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis.
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Folger.
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson.
Both sides.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez.
Vote aye. All right, general public comments. I gotta get that sheet. Is there, give me 1 second.
Yep, there are some.
All right, thank you, sir. You are Gentleman Scholar, Chief. Good move. Your hurts are hurting. That's all right. Midlife tune-up. We got a long way to go, Madam C.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gentleman Scholar, Chief. Ms. Robin Walker, please, general public comments.
Hello.
Someone keep that 3 minutes for me.
You said what, Mayor?
You're talking about the timer.
Okay. Before my timer starts, is it possible for me to, because I listened to the meeting, the last meeting, and I was addressed by Trustee Donna Fulcher. So my question, I just had a question for Trustee.
You're on your time. Wait a
So
minute.
I am on the time?
Right, let's go. Reset. Here we go. That's why.
So the question, Trustee Fulcher, is you said that myself and Sonia both lied on you. So I would like clarity on that. What do you mean by we lied on you? What was that in regards to?
No comment from the trustee tonight? No comment.
You're well aware of what my statement referenced. That's why we had to go to hearing in a case. So I have no response. That was my response. And that was it.
Is that we lied? Okay, so we don't have to do anything?
If this is a baseball moment, let's stick to the business of the village because we don't want to do that.
This is business of the village, and that was a question I was going to ask you as well, because I heard that you said this is not the
It is
correct
not.
platform. It definitely is. She's an elected official, and what happened took place when she was elected official, so it absolutely is the place. We're tired of being silenced and elected officials doing things and getting away with it without, you guys have to be responsible for what you do.
If I say, Ms. Walker, I'm not going to be confrontational, not going to be argumentative, but if I tell you that this is not the place in my meeting that I'm holding for the business of the people, then it's not the meeting. Please, okay? Please respect that. Please set up a meeting if you want to have something to do outside of village business, because it's not a park district, it's not a park of recreation. Everybody's volunteers, so we're going to talk about issues of this village. So
It is a part of the issues of this village, and are you trying to silence me as a resident of this village?
No,
Because that's what I feel like.
I'm just going to...
It is, okay, so I just want to make sure we're clear. Business is baseball business, because it's regarding the grounds on the village and all of that. It's all a part of this.
Trustee Fulcher, you don't have to.
So my question is, village manager, I had requested a meeting. Is it possible that I could get a meeting to discuss baseball and all of this business?
Explained to you before that is a separate entity from the village, and I'm not getting involved in that. That's It's a completely separate organization. It's not governed by us.
But it's regarding the grounds and the buildings that are part of
If you
this
want to discuss,
village.
so that's not what you told me when you called, you wanted to discuss that situation.
Yes.
If you want to discuss grounds and you are able to do so, and you are a sitting board member, that is okay, then I have no issue with that. Other than that, I have nothing else to discuss when it comes to that.
So I need a meeting date and time with the board. And Mayor, you said the last meeting, you would like to discuss that as well, right? To get this all figured out? Is that what you said? Is that still on the table?
I'm listening.
So that's what I'm asking for, a meeting and a date. Gina, Ms. Gina, I've asked her too several times. A meeting and a date and a time to discuss baseball issues. Is that going to be okay? Board?
All right. Now, that's your 3 minutes right there, Ms. Walker.
Okay.
All right. I look forward to the calendar invite. Thank you. Ms. Sonia Jenkins, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor Board. It has been brought to my attention, and I had opportunity to look at the meeting on YouTube in reference to me called a liar. Well, I do have the email that I was invited to a meeting with the late Eugene Lawson, myself, Ernestine Beck Fulgham, the mayor, and Robin Walker in reference to baseball. So when I'm called a liar, please make sure the next time you can't back up anything, you need to make sure there's no receipts, because there is. Also, I wanted to come in and invite you guys to look at the information that I gave you in reference to the Love Fridge. We do have a box out here, and the box that we do have is done non-perishables. I went to a charitable in the city of Chicago that had this Love refrigerator, and they did milk, fresh produce, different things like that, and other entities would fill it up once a month. So I was wondering if you guys could take a look at it on the website, see if it's something that the village would like to do to support our food, sustainability here in the community, and help our residents. And thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. Sinclair Jenkins.
Hello, good afternoon, board. I'm here to speak on the University Park baseball. I just wanted to say thank you to all of the women that stood beside me in the concession stand, that helped me in the concession stand. I believe that we all did a wonderful job when we was working together, and as in past tense, we was. So all I have to say about that is it's kind of messed up of what happened. I'm not going to tap into what happened, but it was kind of messed up of what happened and how we all fell apart as Black people, because Black people need to work together in the day and age that we are. And as an 18-year-old woman, I was working from 16 all the way up until 17 because we stopped before I turned 18. And that kind of, because that was my summer job, honestly, working in the concession stand, and it was fun. I love bonding with the kids. I was really involved with the kids because the kids bonded to me and I bonded to them. At the end of the day, them kids will never see me really because I'm going to college, so them kids will never see me again. I thought I'd be able to see them before I do go to college and get them a hug and be like, oh, well, I see you later. But no, because the concession stand got shut down. The program kind of just went downhill, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, stuff happened. We can't stop from what happens. But it could have been prevented if people would have worked together at the end of the day. So thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sinclair. Gwen Williams, please.
Williams. I have lived in the village for 40 years. I used to be an employee of the Avatar Corporation until November.
Ms. Williams, give me 1 second, see if we can adjust the vibe so we can hear you a little better. We good?
I used to be an employee of the Avatar Corporation until November of last year, when my job was eliminated and moved to Canada. At the time when Avatar was sold, they gave us the impression that none of our jobs would be in jeopardy. Okay. okay, that none of our jobs were in jeopardy. After I lost my job, one of the things that I noticed as the process of looking for a job, that many of the businesses that have license in our village are not posting jobs on job links or Indeed or Glassdoor. So I went to the directory and went to their own websites. There were also no jobs there. When you drive into the industrial park, and you don't have to go very far, all you have to go is 1 block, and those parking lots are full of cars. They're using some method to hire those employees, but it is not including the residents out here who want to work. And I think that needs to be changed because it's putting us in an unfair position. We can't apply for jobs we don't know about. If they're using staffing services in order to do the vetting for them, we don't know who those staffing services are. And that needs to change. And you don't have to take my conclusions. You have the data. Each one of them must file for a renewal of their business license. They must file a quarterly head tax report. And if they have a TIF agreement, they must file the TIF agreement and list the number of employees that live in the village in order to get their reimbursement. All you have to do is do a sampling and look at the data from year to year to year and see if it has changed. For a very long time in the Avatar, I was the only employee they had from the village. And for us going forward, not only for me, but for the young people that are in our village and are coming home from college and coming home and trying to start careers, that needs to change.
Amen.
Because they come in, every day that traffic flows through here. Some days it takes 40 minutes for me to get to my house, from my house on Black Hawk to Central Avenue. And if they can provide jobs for them, they can provide jobs for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yep. Go ahead, trustee.
I appreciate you, Ms. Williams, for coming forward. I agree 100% with you. I was not aware that they're not using Indeed, Glassdoor, all the things that people
The
use.
site is job links, and if they were posting on job links when you use the filters for 25 miles or 10 miles, then all of the jobs that are listed in the park should automatically pop up. None of them are. I think what they're doing is what Avatar was doing. They're using staffing services to do their vetting. And you can't go to the company if you don't know who it is.
Sure.
And it needs to change because I don't work for Avatar anymore, so I can say this. You made a significant difference by those tip payments on Avatar Survival as a company. So I know how important they are. And it needs to be appreciated.
Okay. Thank you. Point well taken.
And I do know for sure that Clorox does use a staffing agency. I'll get you the name of it. And I was going to...
Using staffing agencies.
They are.
Yeah.
And I was going to speak to that tonight because all those companies and our children, our youth, our teens have no summer jobs.
Exactly.
There's too many companies in that industrial park. Each one of them could take 5 or 10 of our children and give them jobs.
I mean, they could use summer interns. Just to give
Right,
them the experience.
GSU, interns,
Right,
all that.
exactly.
And it's terrible that we have that many companies and they're not feeding back to us.
That's right.
And our children are lacking and then having to run the streets, which increases crime for him. It doesn't make sense.
I just couldn't let this pass because it isn't just for me, it's for the kids and the young people in our village.
Exactly. So I definitely think you need to look into it.
That's a battle I'd like to fight.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that needs to be addressed. There's
Because
no way.
I had some residents who work in Clorox who've been there multiple years, and they only going through temporary service, and they want to bring them on full time. So it's a good time to bring it up to address all of that.
That's
Thank you
true.
for your comments, trustee.
You're welcome.
All right, Deborah J. Stroud. Yeah, because we brag about all the jobs and we're getting in there back doing us. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, those present, those viewing. As a member of First Baptist Church of University Park, I am so glad to say, as we participated in the most recent fair that was held here last Wednesday, and Sunday, Pastor Reggie said that this time, I know in January, the fair captured 1,080 people. This time, it was 1,906. Which says a whole lot about the need of providing resources in our community for anybody who has need of them. Another thing I'm proud to mention, for those, I don't know if everyone is aware of the letter that's online regarding Aqua. I'll briefly read, as an Illinois consumer who cares about my water bills.
Yes.
I urge you to reject Aqua Illinois rate hike request. Aqua customers have long complained about high bills and poor service from the company. Aqua is extremely profitable. Its parent company has raked in $828 million in profits over the last 2 years. Given the already high level of distrust in Aqua Illinois and their past inability to provide clean, safe, drinkable, and most importantly, unleaded water for communities around our state, this company does not need an excessive rate hike. Now, I've been circulating these throughout the community myself. Everybody knows if I get a flyer or a piece of paper and I think it's positive and constructive, I'm gonna do my part. So I know it's on the website, but by the same token, everybody does not look at the website. Manager Scott, may I ask, do you have any of these at the Village Hall?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Okay, and I have a few with me for anybody who wants to sign them tonight, and I'll take them back to First Baptist Church on Sunday. Now, secondly, University Park Public Library. Next week, next Wednesday, we will be having our annual Cotton Club. This is our 10th one. Cotton Club in a box. This is live jazz and tap. Right here, University Park Public Library. It's free, it's awesome. Come on out for that hour. It starts at 6:30. Come on out and enjoy yourself in the neighborhood. And I have some of these.
What's the date again, Ms.
Next Wednesday, I'm sorry, it's April 3rd, 6:30 p.m. This is part of your birthday present from the library. But, and I'll pass these out to anybody as a reminder. And I want to be the first to wish everyone a happy Easter.
Thank you so much.
I know till now nobody's wished everybody a happy Easter, so I feel like I'm the first. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I put that?
All right, and Tim Robinson. Oh, okay, y'all got y'all work done. Y'all got y'all folders in order. That's good to see y'all work. Yeah, I got you. I just got my list of games, boy. It's a good brother.
Good evening, board and trustees and Mr. Mayor. Recently, you know, I had an issue with that wall out there. So I took a little bit of initiative and went to the award trophy place out here, and Steger.
Yes.
Okay.
And she gave me a sample and she gave me a price. So I want the board members to look at it and see what they think. We decided to go with this material due to the fact the metal out there is hard to maintain and it smears the names over time.
Yeah.
There's no way to protect it. So I'll be passing this around so everybody can see it. Also, we know Memorial Day is right around the corner. So I started putting a program together, which I will also pass around to everybody, so you can see what we plan on doing. Also price the flags, the little ones to put on the cemetery. And what I'm gonna suggest to the family is keep your flag, don't take it to the cemetery, because all of the national cemeteries will put them out. They're only gonna allow that stuff out there for so many days and they're gonna clean it all out. So I wanna order the flags and the little veteran Memorial Day coins to give to the family members that attend. But the most important thing is we need to get an accurate count of, you know, the veterans that's passed away in the village village, and also what family members will be attending. Now, this is going to be different from the Veterans Day. Memorial Day celebration starts at 3 o'clock in the evening. That's being so that the families can get out in the morning to pay their respect to their fallen loved ones and friends. So I put together a little itinerary, and I need to get with your assistant so she can throw in the other stuff she want to throw in. So I'll pass it around so everybody can see it and everything, so you can get a good idea that we're getting it started. And I'm also set up a meeting with the committee now, and so we can get started on a lot of stuff. And another thing I need to ask the board members, I know the mayor was talking about new city hall being built and everything, and us getting all of this wall together. My thing is, that wall cannot have a decision on it until you guys make up your mind about the city hall. That wall need to follow city hall, because that's going to represent the village. So it's no need of wasting money and spending and getting all that built up out there, and then you decide we're going to go someplace else and we can't take it with us. That'd be a waste of money. So as soon as you can make a decision on that, then me and Trustee Thompson was getting some bids for some contractors, and put ideas together, get the guy that does the blueprints and everything, and put a little design together, and see how much it's going to cost us, and is it going to be any time restraint on it. Her goal is to have it by Veterans Day this year, but I know y'all ain't going to have a decision made about City Hall by that time.
Yeah, but that's all right. That's all right. Trustee Thompson she definitely is working with us, so let's make it happen. That's good stuff. And if you got some stuff to pass around, just leave it with Chief.
Right, I'm going to pass the folder around so everybody can look at it. But like I said, it's just the overlook of what I got planned, and just started something like a little foundation for the itinerary. And I got everything together, and that way you can see what's going on. You might need to get your little speech together too. And the goal is to recognize the members and the families. So we're going to have a plan A and a plan B. Plan A, we're going to try to have it outside. Get the tent set up and everything. Just in case we get inclement weather, we bring it in here. The goal is to have a dinner in here, to get it catered and everything. So if we do have the weather to cooperate with us outside, then we have them setting up the tables and the food to start coming in. So once we finish the ceremony, everybody can come in, do their little fellowship and everything. So like I said, I'm going to pass this around. Also, the price sheet is in here. I checked out the lady's work. She does some good work, but I know we got to put out bids for it. I looked at the different type of material she had.
Mr. Robinson, I got to be consistent with my time. Pass that up from you're over the 3 minute mark.
I got you.
All right, so we want to be consistent with everybody. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Ain't no problem.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right. All right.
Yes, your consent agenda.
That concludes our public. Okay, Miss Mary, I didn't see it. Okay, I didn't see it on there. Oh, I see it on this sheet. I got you. You got 2 different sheets. Here's another one. So go ahead, Miss Truss. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you guys saw this. Maybe a copy over there. I passed these out.
Yes.
This month of March is just about over, but we are celebrating and recognizing National Women's Month. And some people say nothing goes on in this village. That's not true when you come to the Block Club, because we have a lot of things going on. We have breakfast and bingo at the library. That's on March 30th. We're starting this at 10:30, but there is a phone number on here. You need to call in and register. We're going to play a few games of bingo and whatever, and eat breakfast and kind of celebrate women and the royal treatment, just doing some things here in the village, because some people say there's nothing going on here, but that's not true. Okay? Like to see you there.
Oh, yeah. That's it, Miss Mary? That's it?
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
It's not how much you say, it's that you
It's
say.
what you say, I got you.
Yeah, it's what you say.
Well, thank you so
You all want me to say some more? Now, you know I
No, we're good.
Are you sure?
We good, Miss Mary, we're good.
I got a lot to say.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. So that now concludes our public section. We're going to go to our consent agenda. I'll ask my board members, item F2A, F2B, F2C. Is there anything that you guys would like to have removed?
F2A and F2C.
F2A and F2C. Would you like to consider those separately?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, we're going to just vote on item F2B on the resolution authorizing the purchase of Comcast equipment for Channel 4 in the village of University Park. Is there a motion? Motion. Moved by McFadden. Second. Second by Lewis. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis.
Votes aye.
Trustee McFadden.
Votes aye.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes aye.
Trustee Williams.
Votes aye.
Gotta change this. R 2024-06.
Okay.
06?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to go to those items that they wanted to be considered as separately. We'll start with item F2A. Well, let's first of all, let's do it in a little reverse order. Let me change my mind. I'm going to ask for a motion because if I'm not mistaken, on item F2C, there's some documentation that we're supposed to receive that we haven't received yet. So so before we even go into that, let's make a motion just to table that item. Is it, what's the
So moved.
Okay, there's a motion by Thompson. Second by Fulcher. Roll call, Madam Clerk. This is to table item F2E on the consent agenda. 2C. Thank you, guys. Better keep my glasses off. And the reason this item is being tabled because the person or the company was supposed to provide the board and the manager with supporting documentation on his future plans. So that's why we're tabling that economic development movement. All right. That says that. Let's go to item F2A, a resolution approving and authorizing purchase of a street sweeper from Standard Equipment. Is there a motion? Oh, this is going to be for discussion. Before we have a motion, let's have a motion in a second. Then we'll need a motion and a second, then we'll open it up for discussion. So may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Lewis. Second. Second by McFadden. Okay, now we got a motion in a second. Trustee Thompson, your pleasure. You asked to consider this as separately. Talk to me.
I still don't agree with purchasing this equipment, with used equipment with a 90-day warranty, when we can, like the South Suburban mayors and managers, they have cooperative agreements. Different villages have cooperative agreements. We could also contract it out, and it'll still be cheaper when in 90 days the warranty will be up, and we might have to buy that machine again. So it's just more cost-effective to me to look at some other options.
So that's your concern on it?
Yes.
As far as purchasing it. Anybody else have any concerns regarding that? Because as we all know, we had this opportunity to purchase one maybe 3 to 6 months ago. The board had declined not to purchase it. But as we declined not to purchase much needed equipment, we also look at our community and look at the need for street sweeping. So, okay, but I'm glad to bring that to a point. So it's good we can have this dialogue. Anybody else have any comments, questions? Trustee Fulcher? Okay.
Comment. Wanted to say that when Manager Scott sent over the quote for the contract services, it was actually kind of reasonable to me. It was, what, $200 per hour, and they usually do about 3 hours. So that's pretty much about $600 per occasion. When you look at, that's what the paper said, right? Yeah.
So you don't know if it's going to take 3 hours. I guarantee you it's going to take a lot more than 3 hours to street sweep this community of 17 miles, 35 miles of drivable way. The board's chooses to do that, no problem.
Well, maybe we should see what that actually would take. I don't know, Public Works did it before. They should have an idea about how long it takes, but for $600 for each occasion versus paying $120-something thousand for used equipment that we might eventually only have a 90-day warranty, and there's a possibility of some work that would need to be done. So for me, even if we decided to allocate, just throwing out a number, $5,000 to do the street sweeping with a contract service. So that's basically $60,000, no, I'm saying it wrong. So if we did $10,000, just throw a number, $10,000 per year versus $120,000, that means that we have a contract service that will be doing the street sweeping for about 12 years.
So I don't think it's...
Versus us having to get some used equipment with a 90-day warranty.
Trustee, she's asking me to speak into the mic a little bit, that's all. I'm sorry.
Okay. Versus us paying $120-something thousand for used equipment with a 90-day warranty that we most likely would have to fix, that we would have to use our Public Works Department to have to man the roads, which we are, from what I'm hearing from everybody states, that we are low in the amount of workers that we do have. If we're able to contract the service, just throw out a number, $10,000 per year. For the season, you get whatever, 6 months. That'll cover 12 years. So to me, it makes more sense to contract it out.
Go ahead, real quick before I forget this. Has anybody looked and had confirmation or anything solid in black and white on paper? Or is it just what we're thinking?
That was just an example.
Just an example?
I just threw out a number. I don't know what that number is, but we can't $100.
So basically, okay, go ahead. Trustee Williams, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I know the importance of our town looking clean and nice. I know the residents complain all the time. I personally feel that getting something that's ours, and that one particular one, we have the company right here in University Park where they said they could service it, they could replace the parts, etc. And then I look at the fact that that's taking away jobs from our union members who are contracted. They have a contract in place. I'm very hard when it comes to union, as y'all know. So taking away work from them and giving it to someone else is a big deal, because then they're ready to sue and say they're going against our contract. So I feel since we can't afford a new one, I think the used one from the company that can service it right here and do that, because we don't know how many hours. They talk like according to that contract, they can only come out a few days a week. We may need them more than a few days a week. We have holidays and other things that our streets look awful. So I'm opposed to contracting it out. I'd rather that we get something and that we have it here and call it our own. That's just my thoughts.
Thank you. And, go ahead. You had something, Trustee?
No, and just piggyback off of Gina, to have the street sweeper, it's ours to use, and the guy did say he can fix it. If it were to break down, he did say...
It's in-house, yeah.
And it is, the streets are looking hard.
So usually when there are warranties, there's always the opportunity for extended warranties as well. And I believe, believe in ownership instead of rental. So, but as it comes down to a vote, we all get to cast our decision. But at the end of the day, just remember, people, it's about the environment of our city. So we want to call that street sweep out and say, let's come on out the night before the parade, or come on out and do this. We've got hands-on. Because I'm a former public works employee, so I know that thing inside and out. And the street sweeper that we had was probably back to the 90s. Back to the 90s that we had. And it was an old Elgin, if I'm not mistaken, because I used to drive it occasionally. So it's up to the board's decision. So if there are any more comments?
Yeah, I do have one.
Go ahead, Trustee.
And I do understand that we need to keep our streets good. And that's exactly what we're doing. Just because we might not have our own personal equipment doesn't mean that we're not going to take care of the streets and roads. If a plan was put together with our own equipment, because I remember that street sweeper that we did have broke down all the time.
Yeah, it was.
And it was very costly to continue to fix that street sweeper, and that's why we don't have one now, and we haven't had one. It was continuously costing money, and when they come up to the board to ask to get it fixed, the board said, we don't have any to fix it. So I'm just stating that if we could get some services out here, which it wouldn't take away from union workers, because we only have 2 people that can actually drive it right now anyway. So it wouldn't take away from them, because we use contract services all the time in public works.
All right.
So that's not something that we've never done. We use it all the time. I just want to make sure that that's clear, that it wouldn't be taken away from union workers. But if we can put together a plan, some public works director or whoever, and says that we're going to get our streets cleaned every other day, or whatever they have, I don't know, whatever plan. It's not my job to put together a plan. But what is the plan? We were never presented with a plan. We talked about it last year and asked for a contract service and what it would be. What would be the plan? And we never received it. So you're asking us to buy something that I know, because all these other public works equipment is steady breaking down. We're still steady spending money on every last one. And I don't remember, and I do remember, that street sweeper cost a lot of money and it broke down all the time.
All right. Well, trustee, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We've got a motion and a second on the floor. Madam Clerk, let's just do a roll call. Let's see what we want to do for the people.
Trustee Lewis.
To get the street sweeper?
Yes.
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden.
Votes aye.
Trustee Folger.
Votes no.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes no.
Trustee Williams.
Vote aye.
Mayor Rudin.
Votes aye, Madam Clerk. Let's go get us a street sweeper.
We've got a tie vote, sir.
We got a tie?
No.
Wait a
You only
minute.
have 2 no's.
We got 2 noes.
You only have 2.
We got 2 no's.
2 noes, 3 yeses, 4 yeses.
No. It's only 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion passes.
Motion passes.
And that, sir, is resolution R 2024-06.
That was,
I'm sorry,
oh yeah, I was going to say 7.
07?
07.
All right. All right, Manager Scott, would you do us all a favor? Just look and see if there's the opportunity for an extended warranty, please.
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much. New business, a resolution accepting the recommendations of the Antero Group for the Veterans Memorial Garden. Is there a motion? Moved by Lewis.
Question.
Motion and the second. Question by Trustee Thompson.
What are their plans? What is their scope of?
Okay.
I think it was discussed before, because we put it out a few times, but it's some of the bricklaying that's down that's going to be redone. The wall is going to be redone. Basically, the whole landscaping around that area, and we have some different plans for the wall to have actual names of residents that were veterans to be placed as a memorial alongside the others that are already there.
Is the Antero Group going to work with our Veterans Committee?
Yes.
Okay.
But if we could have that meeting sooner than later, just because we have to get on it as soon as possible.
Okay. Then the other question is, as Mr. Robinson said, the mayor suggested that that area would be developed. So is it going to be the same place that was dedicated for the veterans, the original place, or another place?
I think it should be for now, that area. First of all, you have to think, we got this with grant money, so we can't wait. We either have to do it within this next year, or we need to give the money back.
I don't want to wait, so.
And we can reapply at a later time and see if we get it. The reality is, I'm not sure how long, we've been here for a few years. The reality that we might be here a few years, even if we were to start building another place, that would be looking at a multi-year plan. So I think that we should just go for it, build that. If we need to relocate some of it, I spoke with some of the engineers, we will be able to move some of that stuff. The landscaping, we would not, but like I said, we got a grant. We have a match with it, but I do think we should just move forward with it.
Can you please send the scope of whatever it is they're planning to do?
Yes, I can provide you with that.
And a lot of the names are kind of fading off. It's bad.
Yeah, we're gonna try to polish them up and see if they need to all be replaced or what we can do.
Yeah, legible. Because my husband's name is up there, and it's fading too.
We got the grant, so yeah. That's a good grant, so, okay. Any other questions regarding this?
When are they planning on doing this again?
We're gonna put out, they're gonna have to give us a start date, it's weather permitting. So we'll see when the weather, because if they start doing that now with the ground being so moist, it'll sink and whatever. So it's weather permitting, we're hoping to start it maybe this spring.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
Committee would like to see their plan, though, before we start.
No problem. And we're limited in how much we can change it because it was written last year. So with grants, if you change it too much, they kick it back.
All right.
Well, also let me see the terms of the grant then, too, so we can see what we said we were going to do.
All right, good stuff. All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Thompson.
Votes no until I see the plans.
Trustee Folger.
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Lewis.
Both sides.
Mayor Rudette. Mayor Rudette.
Vote side, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, that's Resolution R 2024-08.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Clerk. This next one is a good one as well. Item G1B, the resolution accepting the recommendations of the Antero Group for Phase 2 of Regal Farm construction. Is there a motion? Motion. Moved by Lewis, second by McFadden. Questions?
So what would this phase 2 consist of?
It consists of parking lot resurfacing. We're going to fix up the trail surrounding the buildings there. We're also going to do trail resurfacing, playground, and basic like landscaping, and then address the tennis courts. And it's $200,000 with the 50% match, but we're using in-kind for some of the match.
You said playground, are they adding a playground?
Yes, and that's actually in the board packet, things that you received complete with pictures. You didn't get that? I sent that. Okay, well, I sent that, and I'll provide that to you. There's playground renderings.
The parking lot, trail, playground, tennis court.
Trail resurfacing, playground landscaping, parking lot resurfacing.
Parking lot.
And,
Parking lot, you can run the house too?
yes, yes.
And that's starting this summer, spring?
Possibly, it's all dependent on when construction is able to start, also if they have the equipment, the lumber, the supplies that they need.
And that's just a certain phase of it. That's not the completion of it.
No, it's not. It's going to be ongoing.
That's just an initial start of $200,000. Excuse me, we finished with the public comments right now, so we're not going to take anything from the audience. Excuse me, we're through with the public comments for right now. We're not going to take any questions for them. All right.
Yeah, we're not sure yet, because I also have an idea of putting the community garden over there where it used to be some time ago from talking to residents. I had a meeting with Mrs. Trust, and we're going to have subsequent meetings, and that's part of my board report, but yes.
Next phase will be into the building.
And I'll provide that to you because I did send that.
Don't happen overnight. It's like the private sector. Okie doke. So that's what it is. Then the next phase will be addressing the building and everything. This isn't the private sector, so things just don't happen that way. It took a long time for the grant to mature. People don't understand there were some penalties and fees that the village owes that we had to overcome and some obstacles, but we're on track. Regal Farm is going to be one of the most beautiful spaces in the community, so it's a work in progress. So we're glad to move forward with it. All right, because the money's still there, so that's just a small portion of it. All right. Next item.
We have to vote.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
We have a motion.
Yeah, we got a motion in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trustee Lewis.
Trustee Lewis?
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden?
Both sides.
Trustee Folger?
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson?
Both sides.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez?
Votes aye.
Mr. Mayor, that's Resolution R 2024-09.
All right, and I'm quite sure the residents of the Regal Farm area would be glad to start seeing some active things start to happen. You know, government works is just a process. It's, you know, it's a work in process. Understand the process is going to bring the guys good benefits. All right, so I'm going to ask for a motion on this item G1C to make a table on this Tier 5 agreement, because I think there was some confusion on there, because we were not asking us to dissolve it right now. We were just asking to put something in action to the school board can put in their budget. Is that right, Thompson? It wasn't the intent to dissolve it.
Not to, like to do it fast.
Right.
But just to make sure we do it on time.
Right.
So I think we should still vote on it.
But no, the resolution wasn't made because there was some misunderstanding on that, because when I was speaking with Felicia, there was some misunderstanding with our finance people. What was it that they didn't think we should be closing it now?
And that's why John is the expert in this area, and it wasn't his recommendation that we actually...
And I was explaining to him that this wasn't our intent to dissolve it right now, but it was our intent to stay on track to ensure that there's some documentation so they can put it in to go out for bonding. Is that correct? So maybe we can get some things we got a special meeting Thursday, maybe we can add it to that.
Well, I think what needs to happen,
Listen, go ahead.
I think that, and I'm not sure if it was you or the village manager suggested that John actually speak with him, because I think that's the better thing to do. Because when I told John that this was on the agenda, phrased the way that actually he asked that it be phrased, he said, I've told them that I don't recommend that. Now, tips aren't my area of expertise, so I'm not going to try to have an intelligent conversation about that. So that's why I said, well, okay. And that's why I think you or the village manager suggested maybe the two of them need to talk.
Yeah, that's why I suggested that,
Yes.
that Ken Sermon and Casperry talk so they can get the language right. It's all about the language, because we all agreed to participate with it. It's just ensuring that the language is right. And they were uncomfortable making the resolution because it was all under the dissolution of Tier 5. So we'll get that back as soon as possible.
So they're going to reach out to
Sermon and Casperry, they'll have that conversation. Murphy. John Murphy, the TIF guy, our TIF guy, yeah.
And then can they explain it to us?
And that's why I said, it would make no sense for me to try to explain it to you, because it would mean nothing.
So that's the reason I'm asking for a motion to table. So may I have a motion to table? Moved by Lewis, second by McFadden. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis?
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden?
Both sides.
Trustee Folger?
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson?
Both sides.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez?
Votes aye, Madam Clerk. Item G1D, resolution authorizing use of MFT, which is motor fuel taxes, for purchase of rock salt. Is there a motion? Moved by Lewis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by McFadden. Questions? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis? Trustee Lewis?
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden?
Both sides.
Trustee Folger?
both sides.
Trustee Thompson?
Both sides.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez?
Votes aye, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, that's Resolution R 2024-10.
Dash 10. All right, we done went through that agenda. Okay, item G1E, attached for your approval is a listing of general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred on the 6th of March 2024 through the 26th of March 2024. General Fund 372, 136 and 44. Road and Bridges 7,865 and 37. Town Center Fund 4,711 and 77. Capital Project Fund 50,696 and 88. TIF 5 6,409 and 75, and the payroll fund of $1,122 with a total of $442,942 and 21. Is there a motion? Moved by Lewis. Second by McFadden. Questions? Roll call, Madam Clerk. All right, Trustee Fortune.
First off, for the reading of that, it says for the expenses that occurred on March 6th through March 26th. These really are expenses that occurred earlier than that. Should that be changed? I just noticed it.
You want to make an amendment or a typo or something?
No,
On the cover?
before that. It says for operating expenses for the village that occurred on March 6th through March 26th. And all these expenses are pretty much
Talking about 20 days expenses, huh?
so I think maybe just change that because it's kind of confusing. And I have some things. One of them is for question about the reimbursement of medical expenses. I think it should be changed to the 500 versus the 560. Is that correct?
I can hear you. What was that?
Oh, I see. Oh, I know what you're talking about. So there's no, from my understanding, there's no cap. I have seen us reimburse.
I thought I seen something that said we are capped at
So we reimburse for two things. One is the annual deductible.
I remember
The
that.
second thing is any unpaid medical expenses that aren't covered by their insurance, including deductibles, like meaning your deductible payment when you go to pay the $20 or whatever, all that's reimbursed. And those were some of the questions that I had. And I've been discussing this with Leslie because the human resources, because we've had extensive conversation about this. And we've been looking through the CBAs, we've been looking through the policy manual, which she's almost done working on, and we're going to be bringing that forth to the board next month. But those are some of the things that we're looking to alter, to change.
Is that under both contracts?
We do not find that, Leslie can speak to that, but we could not find that in the contracts, but there's these forms, right? I don't know when they popped up. I was told that some years ago that whoever at the time got rid of that, and somehow it popped back up. This was going on when I got here, so I got a lot of pushback from some employees regarding that, but I think that we need to look into changing that.
Absolutely.
It's not in the contract, it's not in the policy manual.
That's why I'm asking.
Go through employee files, people that have been here that long, and find these forms where it was signed off on that they got this reimbursement back. There's nothing in writing, it's page by page. What we did then was just tell them.
Well, but
So we are.
that's crazy.
It's not the contract.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's trying to wrap it up.
Right.
I want to make sure that.
But we do plan on putting that, something in
In writing.
the current updated policy. That we will not
Yes.
be doing that. So we're going to basically immortalize that, so there won't be any question going forward.
And it wasn't in everybody's file, it was in certain people's files. So everybody didn't do it, everybody didn't know that.
See, that's...
Okay, next thing was the Otis elevator company.
Please, thank
There's
you.
a lot of back payments all the way back to 2022. What happened with this one?
So I've had conversations with Chief Mitchell. He can go into detail about that, but I was always
Water in the basement.
trying to figure out why we are paying for a monthly maintenance on an elevator that...
Excuse me. Let's hit the manager. Go ahead. And then we'll go to Chief Mitchell.
Why we've been paying monthly for an elevator that hasn't worked, from my understanding, in over a decade, and that had been going on for a long time when I got here, so I had stopped paying it. I had questions with Otis. The chief can go into detail because we've gone back and forth about the elevator. I personally feel that at this time, given everything that needs to be fixed at the village, an elevator is not a priority, but maybe Chief Mitchell can chime in on that.
I have a question before you start, Chief. What is the elevator used for? It's in the police department? What is the, what?
This is the elevator to the basement. The basement is quite far down, believe it or not. The building is pretty big. And that basement has several stacks of stairs go all the way down.
something in the basement?
Yes, we use the basement a lot. That's where our range is, our storage areas, our gun cleaning areas, our training areas, the locker rooms, men and women's locker rooms, men and women's washrooms, the mechanical room, the server room. So it's a lot of stuff down there.
When was the last time the elevator worked, though?
It doesn't work.
So,
Well, it needs to get fixed. So what, when they come and maintain it, what are they doing?
So, see, that's part of the problem. So, myself and the village manager, we've been looking at it. We've had a hard time getting them to come out. We can't find any documentation of the last time they came out. I spent the better part of last year fighting with them to get them to come out because it's an estimate on how much it would cost to repair it. And also, the reason why you're seeing all these bills because Otis has been inconsistent in sending bills. We've been paying bills and then we look up here comes another bill they say that wasn't paid in 2022 or this other bill. So it was very inconsistent in sending bills. And so at one point he sent a batch of bills at the same time. And this is per contract. The contract has been ongoing, has been self-renewing. Village manager and myself are of the opinion that we're looking into canceling the contract. However, the contract has a specific window of time in which you can cancel. It's only 30 days in a year that you can cancel the contract. We just spoke about it earlier this week, where we got it on the calendar the day that we're looking at canceling the contract.
when was this contract signed?
This contract was signed about a decade ago.
So it was a 10-year contract?
It's not a 10-year contract. It was originally a 3-year contract that automatically renewed unless you cancel it. And so, right.
That's so my rival.
I guess I can tell you the contract automatically renews in September, but you can only cancel it no earlier than 120 days, but no shorter than 90 days.
So it's a small window.
So it's only 30 days. So we tried to cancel the contract last year. We got a lot of pushback. And then the contract has a portion, if we cancel it early, then we owe 6 months worth of payment.
It's like a prepaid penalty, huh?
Can the attorneys make sure that we meet that guideline, meet that deadline, so that this doesn't continue? But I'm sorry. I said, can the attorney make sure that we meet that criteria so that this doesn't continue to go on and on?
But my question is, if they haven't been maintaining it per the contract, it has to be some type of clause in which we can terminate this contract because they're not performing. Well, I would like to see it because that's what I think I want to review it, and that's what my thought process is. If you're not performing, I mean, and we've been paying you.
Right.
That's a breach. So I would definitely like to see it.
When they come in to inspect, do they sign off on something? How do we know they even came in? Is there any?
Anybody that comes to inspect, we make them sign off. JT. So this is a maintenance. It's a maintenance agreement. To maintain the ability for them to come out and fix. However, I've been battling with them for the past year that you guys got to do something. And so I've consulted the village manager, we got to get on this.
Okay.
But this represents the inconsistent nature of them sending invoices.
Yeah, because they're making money.
Yeah.
They're making bank.
Yeah, performance. They have to perform, so yeah.
Well, I would like to remove this from Bill's calendar.
So you're making a motion?
I would second. You know what?
Go ahead. Let's go through the process.
I'll make that at the end.
Okay. Okay, you got another question regarding somebody? Other questions regarding bills payable?
Yeah, I do have one.
Okay. Was that?
We'll make a motion for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to, I think you might have something else, maybe.
Yeah, wait to see
if you got more, you can, that you want pulled.
Okay, so next thing is for seen on bills payable that it was a bill for the golf carts. I thought we are not supposed to be charged a bill for $120,000.
Yes. So what happened was originally Matt from Nadler said everything was fine. They were going to charge it to their insurance, which is Travelers. So I guess when they submitted it, they ended up getting a rejection from Travelers, and I actually do have the letter here from Travelers, and I also can forward the trailing emails that shows the conversation where he contacted me and said, unfortunately, they came back and they said no. So apparently there's something in their clause, and sometimes people don't read all the fine print in their insurance, but there was a clause in Nadler's insurance that said they would not cover flood damage. So because the pipe burst due to the cold weather and it flooded, they will no longer cover it. However, I did speak to Cliff Taylor. I sent him an email last week as soon as I got that, and you can reach out to Cliff to verify. I did speak with him today, but I talked to him and sent him an email last week. We're looking into the possibility of charging it to our insurance, maybe not. So I want to explore all avenues. I did want the board to approve it in case we do have to move forward. I'm not trying to pay for the carts. I'm trying to see, but I also don't want our insurance to go up. Nadler said they would work with us if we were to get on a payment plan to pay them back, but I was really disappointed. I also told them that we wanted the carts back, because if we're paying for them and they're ours, we want them back. We do have an agreement with Nadler that's been in place since that golf course, I think, has been there, and we do have new carts there. So they were planning on supplying us new carts anyways, because the carts are so outdated, so that we have some really nice, beautiful carts, but we do have to pay for those carts. So I'm working on some things with Cliff. I sent him the Travelers this explanation last week, and actually, if you could please pass that, and pass that to Trustee. And I'll forward the original email that had this on there with his explanation, because originally he said they were going to cover it, and I was really disappointed about that, but if need be, we do, but, if it's going to cause our insurance to go up, I want to see how much. I want to weigh all of our options out before we make a final decision, but I did want to bring that before the board for the sake of transparency.
It's not going to go up $123,000.
It's $123,000, yes.
No, I mean, if we file a claim with our own insurance, it's not going to go up $120,000.
It may not, but the deductible. So I have to find out all of that information. And in the long run, I don't know. We may be able to also sell the parts or some parts of those carts to be able to get some of our money back. So those are some of the things that I'm looking into.
But they're giving you the carts back?
Yes, they said they would give us the carts back. But I was told they were in really poor condition, so I'm going to have to assess that. But I did talk with Chris from Kasperic about possibly trying to resale some of the carts for parts, to salvage some of the money. I'm waiting to find out, because with this new insurance that we got, I unfortunately wasn't given that paperwork until the day of the meeting. So I did ask Cliff if he would go over all of that and just let me know how much we would have to pay for this. Okay. For the deductible, but I'll let the board know before we make any decision, including paying those carts. Because if anything, we might get on a payment plan, we might just put it against our insurance, but I'll let the board know. Okay. But the end game is not to pay for those carts.
Right. All right. Any other questions?
Yes. For this hot box, is this fixed now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what is the cost for hot box in general? Because I mean, I think the last season, it broke down like maybe 20 times or so. I don't know, I just know they kept fixing it over and over.
I didn't see that in the bills, but I think it may have had to been serviced once. We actually bought parts for it last time, I believe. The parts were, I want to say they were less than $250, $300, because I did pull up the last receipt for that. But hot boxes, I don't have a price now. I don't want to guess, but I know I'm sure it's over $15,000 or $20,000. But I can get you a quote for that.
Okay, because this is for fixing it for $1,700. And I do remember several times last year, it was stated that the hot box is broken. So this is something that instead of cold patch, I think it's just better for the hot patch to be done. But it never happened because it's always broke. So I would like to see what it would be for a new hot box instead of the same one. I don't know about you all, but
Well, it's fixed, it's working now, but I can price the one for next year.
it's becoming pricey with all these repairs. If I go back last year and calculate all the repairs and the costs that we paid for this hot box, we could have just purchased a new. I'm guessing, I don't know what they cost, but I'm just thinking that we could have probably purchased a new for all the repairs.
Okay.
I would like to see that. And then for the police oil company, there's a motor fuel tax that is applied here. Is that being applied through MFT?
Yes.
It's coming out of general fund.
No, we get, so whenever you do the MFT, you can't just take it out of that money. You have to actually submit documentation to the state, and then it comes back for approval. So it's a process, and sometimes the state is slow, but generally, depending on the amount, they may come back with some questions. But we take all of these receipts, and what we can, we submit to the state, and once they approve it, then we can take that money. But until then, we just keep it segregated.
Okay, so you are pulling that part out, the police oil.
Yes, but we have to pay it first, then we submit it, and we get reimbursed. Yep.
That process is still happening.
Yes.
And then the last one is, under the attorney fees, based off of the report and breakdown, one of the expenses, an expense on here for February 12th, 2024.
February 12th.
Consulting services, what is that?
Which page are you on? I'm sorry.
It's under the invoice, it's under the attorney report.
Legal.
Yeah.
Which,
So
let me
it's a
see.
combination, it's a final price under your summary, but when you look at the breakdown, it's an expense.
Oh, for attorney fees?
Yes. So under there, they have an expense. It was two expenses.
2,775? 2,775? And then 25? So, right, so we will get separate invoices when the attorneys work on TIFs, so that we can properly segregate the TIF money. So when attorneys work on TIFs, if I work on TIFs, the ideal thing to do would be to charge a portion of my pay, the time that I spend, you break that down, and you can take that money back from the TIF, attorney fees, things like that. So ideally, that's what you want to do. So attorneys will do this. The reality is, there's money that's been taken out of the TIF, so actually reconciling it may not be the most feasible thing at this point, but ideally, that's what you always want to do. So that's why it's separated that way.
Right, but usually you put on there TIF expense.
Yeah, sometimes they do. I believe that's what this one is, but I can pull it up.
So I could reach out to you about it, but I would like to say it's for, I guess it's some.
I'm assuming that's what it's for, but I'd have to pull that up, but okay. I'll look that up for you, trustee.
And then there's a lot of services or fees for redacting. Isn't that something that can be done in-house? Because that's adding up for the attorneys to be redacting statements and documents.
So
That was a special circumstance.
we have a program where the secretary...
Turn your mic on.
We have a program where the secretary, literally when she scans, we can, and it's on my computer too, but when it scans, because she's shown me how to do it, you literally can, it's a very quick process as opposed to, now, you guys could buy the program, I mean, but, yeah, it's, but...
Adding up the redaction.
I get it. It is time consuming, but that was a very big project, and there were voluminous documents, and that was all of this. I think those were statements. Yes, those were for a lot of the.
Those were statements that were requested by Trustee Thompson.
Yes,
and it was a lot of statements that needed to be redacted, and that's why the cost is so high.
You have a program that does it.
I can give you all the information, but it's installed on your computer so that when you scan the documents, you can literally click on the area you want redacted, as opposed to trying to literally go through with a marker. So it's a very quick process, but the thing is with that, if you remember, the concern was you didn't want, so it was, you literally had to go through every inch of the document to see where there were account numbers, because that's the concern. You just didn't want those account numbers, because say if somebody stole the documents from you, then they have your account number. And remember, the account numbers can be in different places, and so that was what I had to do. I literally had to go through, look every document to see where it was. Now, granted, once you find it, you click it, and then it's redacted, but it's just a time-consuming process.
But you said that's a program that you'll be able to...
I can add to my assistant to give her the information, yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that, can we do that?
Let's look at it.
Yep.
Depending on how much the software costs. Depending on how much the software
Is it a price?
I don't know what it is. That's not my lane, but I can't just use it.
It's probably less than what is being charged for you to do it. So I don't think that's...
Okay, no, I'll definitely have her to give me the information or forward it to Manager Scott. Yep.
And that wasn't an everyday thing.
Right.
Right, I've seen it in other bills and payables, so I was like, I don't think that to me, it should be just done in-house, and just blotted out account numbers.
So then you have an employee that's looking at that information, that's not what they need, because it's the employee information that they're looking at. So
And that's the thing, you're not going to have just anybody doing it. Right.
Stuff that the attorney's supposed to do, but credit card statements and stuff like that, that's something I believe they already have in-house now that they're doing before they send it to us. So I don't see why it has to be the attorneys to vote in it.
I agree.
Marlindra pays the bills, she sees all the accounts.
See what that software costs to have it done.
She pays the bills. Marlindra.
Okay.
That would be it. So I would like to make a motion to pull
The elevator, Otis elevator. So there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Williams. Okay, the motion is to remove Otis elevators so we can get some legal information. There's a there's a motion and a second. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk, to have this item pulled. Okay. How you doing, Mr. Ellis? You all right? All right. Good.
Trustee Lewis.
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Folger.
both sides.
Trustee Thompson.
Vote aye.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Mayor Rudy.
Vote aye, Madam Clerk. All right, now roll call, Madam Clerk, on the bills payable. There was a motion in the second, Lewis and McFadden. Now a roll call for pay the bills.
As amended.
As amended, correct.
Trustee Lewis.
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Folger.
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson.
Vote aye.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Mayor Rudy.
Votes aye to pay the bills. All right, that concludes our majority of our business for the board meeting. We're going to start right now with a report of the department heads. We'll start with our chief. Anything tonight, chief? You always got good news. Tell me crime is down and we win.
Actually, yes, it is. Mr. Mayor,
Madam Clerk and Board of Trustees and citizens, how you doing? I got a few things that I'd like to report. One, members of the University Park Police Department participated in the South Suburban College Criminal Justice Car Show and Recruitment Fair. They met with a bunch of young people, trying to get them in, trying to reel them in young. I attended Lobby Day, which was a big success. The largest contingent of police chiefs were from the South Suburban area, from my neighboring towns, and we got down there. I think we had an impact on some of the bills that are being filed, such as the no traffic stop bill, the bill to do away with crime-free housing, that type of stuff. The police department has liaised with various businesses in the industrial park. They've been asking us to meet with them and talk over public safety issues with workplace violence. We conducted and we spoke on a couple of in-house training sessions for rapid deployment, active shooter, and ALICE training in the industrial park. We assisted Dot Foods with their annual intrusion test. We conducted chat with the chief. We represented the police department at the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Public Safety Meeting. We represented the police department at the 80th District Public Safety Meeting and the 79th District Public Safety Meeting. We answered 659 calls for service in February. We've integrated new technology into the police department, including cradle points, so we can eventually get rid of those jetpacks. We liaised and worked really well with District 201, their safety committee, and their director, and we took possession of our new squad cars. So you'll be seeing them out. We think you'll be pleased with how they turned out. And upcoming events, we're starting planning Cop on Top, which is going to be May 17th. We have our chat with the chief. It's coming up April 18th. We're starting our planning for the law enforcement torch run to support the Special Olympics, which will be June 5th. When we're starting our planning for our National Night Out, which will be August 6th. And we will continue participating in recruitment events throughout the summer. That ends my report.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Chief Mitchell, could you get us a report of the, not a report, but just those two bills, a couple bills that you said y'all had at Lobby Day that you really impacted?
Oh,
you know what they are?
Yeah, I can send them to you. It's quite a few.
I heard you guys were raising Cain down there. You got some good attention.
Yeah, we did get some good attention. There's a few bills. I think I spoke on it a couple of weeks ago. There's a couple of bills that have been filed to do away with crime-free housing. So if you have a tenant or a renter in town that's just a bad neighbor, they want to make it where the police department cannot force the landlord to get rid of them. Right. And then, yeah, right. Then there are also bills that have been filed. We're calling it the Safety Act 2.0 because they want to do away with police being able to do proactive traffic stops. So a person riding around with a stolen car or a person riding around that has been trafficked or that has shot at somebody, most of the times when we catch the bad guys in the car, it's not because they did something in front of us. It's because their plates are stolen, expired. They're riding around with no lights on. They're riding around with a real loud muffler. They're riding around speeding. You know, we get a lot of calls and a lot of complaints of people speeding. So there's a couple bills out there that would say we would not be able to enforce speeding and traffic laws. We would not be able to pull that car over that's driving around your neighborhood that has the lights out and they're driving around 9 miles an hour but with the lights out. Well, you know what they're doing. They're looking to see what they can get in. Well, there's a couple of bills out there that doesn't want us to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that's horrible. Thank you guys for out there fighting.
But it's a bill, not a law.
It's not a law yet. They've been filed.
They're trying to make it a law and things like that. Thank goodness, and also thank Trustee Thompson, and I'll talk about that later, Trustee Fulcher, about some other bills that we got an emergency meeting about tomorrow. So thanks, Chief. Let me ask you this, just for our residents, what's crime look like in the community? What would help us help you aid in the community? Would more lighting be helpful?
More lighting, being vigilant, just like anything, you see something, what did President Obama always say, see something, say something. Don't wait. Call the police. Notify us if there are areas that are exceedingly dark. You know, we can see into looking for some grants and some abilities to try to light up those areas. Also, you know, check out our Facebook page. We have a lot of information on there on lighting up your house, lighting up the area around your house, talking with your neighbors, and make sure you communicate with the police department. And so those are things that will help. Incidents are down. We've had a steady progression, a decrease in calls for service and calls for violent service. Last year we had a pretty good year. As we said, no homicides in 2023. Shootings were down. Even though people called about shots fired, the number of shots fired calls were down. And the number of fireworks calls were down. We want to build on that, and we want to keep the momentum going into 2024.
One more question for you, Chief. So, remember in your 2023 report, you said we didn't have any homicides, right? So, how are the homicides counted if a person gets shot, goes to the hospital, and then passes away? Is that counted for that town or this town?
Counts for us.
Okay.
Okay. We ain't gonna wish that in the...
I got you, Trustee. I got you. I see what you're saying, too. Yeah.
Yeah, some people do count it separate.
Yeah.
Shot spotters? Right. So you have the big company Shot Spotters. You also have Flock Safety, which has a device called the Raven. What Shot Spotter does is there are a series of microphones that listen for things that sounds like gunshots. That company has people whose job is to verify whether or not there was a gunshot or not. And then it directs the police to that area. So what's a lot of the bad information that you see that happens in the city, the microphones don't say exactly who and where did the shooting. It just lets you know that something happened in that area. And then it's incumbent upon the police and other authorities to get there and try to investigate and find out who did it. So they're an invaluable tool. That would be something I would love to have, but of course, it's a large hit to a budget. Okay. You know, it's not cheap. And so, again, it's an invaluable tool. It was something that would be great to have. But you all would have to, we'd have to have a conversation about it.
Are there grants available for that?
Are there any grants?
There are a lot of grants out there, but not necessarily specifically for that. I spent the last part of the day going through hundreds and hundreds of grants, trying to find grants that will fit what we're looking for. Unfortunately, and I guess I can say this, in the climate that we had of the defund the police, a lot of grants that we would ordinarily, that would be available, have dried up. And so now we're engaging with our state and federal lawmakers to try to appropriate some of that money so we can start getting some of these things back.
Have we had a lot of carjackings? Because I keep hearing people's cars being...
Not carjackings, but we have had some cars stolen.
Deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some cars stolen, but not carjackings. No.
Okay, but stolen.
Stolen.
Are we having a lot of those?
I wouldn't say a lot. We have some in areas that more than I would like, but then when we investigate, we found out that some of those situations where some of the cars were not locked up appropriately in such a way that we could keep them from getting stolen. So we're still working with our citizens to make sure that we're locking these cars up. Particularly, if I don't mind, if you give me a second, I'm going to do the shameless plug. If you have a Kia or a Hyundai product, please come to the police department. We still have those wheel locks. We still have some. They're free. Your car has to be. You have to be, of course, a University Park resident because we got them for the residents of University Park. Please come get these wheel locks. But we want to make sure, please lock your cars, get everything valuable out of your car, or at the very least out of sight, and make sure we're locking those cars and we're not leaving our keys in the cars, and we're not leaving the key fobs with our push-button cars near the front door of your house.
Yeah.
Because what
Say
we're
it
saying
again,
is, don't leave your key fob for your push-button car near the front door of your house. We've had a few of those where the key fob for those transmitters transmit pretty far, right? The key fob was near the front door. You come in the door, you just drop your key fob off, right? It's still within the allotted number of feet where your car is still able to push the button on to start your car. Put those key fobs away from the front door, away from your car, so nobody can get in your car. And that's what I was alluding to, where we had some cars that weren't exactly...
It got you safely secured.
Yeah.
All right, and make sure they lock their doors too, because they
Make sure
still
you
go
lock your
around
doors.
putting on the doors and
Yes.
stuff. All right, well, thank you, Chief. Very detailed report, and it's good to let our residents know that we're doing things in a proactive way to ensure their safety with new influx of residents in the community. We're going to do everything.
Yes.
And I'm glad that this legislative body will put things in place to make you successful, which makes our residents safe. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Manager Scott? Yes, madam.
Department meeting yesterday. We went over a few things, projects, issues, staffing needs, also to request budget recommendations with each department head. I had a meeting with Mike Chambers and Christopher Rebar of the NLC Service Line Program, much anticipated. I've had a lot of residents already calling me, asking me when the program was going to be up and starting. It's going to be about another 7 weeks. It takes about 2 months to get the program going. There's a lot of things that we put in place, including community outreach. We have to get pamphlets together, simple things as sending them a high-resolution logo, having to put together verbiage. I also spoke with Ms. Jenkins regarding adding that to the newsletter. I also wanted to please ask all of the trustees and the clerk and the mayor if anyone has anything that they would like to submit for this upcoming newsletter. If you can, please try to have it to us by next week, because we're trying to get that newsletter out. So if you have anything worth discussing, anything you want to announce, things that you've been working on, if you could please submit that, we would really appreciate it so we could get that out. Just next week, Tuesday, if you can. Regal Farm Phase 2 bid proposal, I went over this earlier, but it was in my report. It includes the landscaping, parking lot resurfacing, trail resurfacing, playground, $200,000 with a 50% match. One thing I did want to mention about the NLC program, I really hope everyone takes advantage of it. I was so impressed. I asked them, could I get it from my house? It's $5.75 within the, you only have to be a part of the program for 30 days. You can have an unlimited amount of claims that you submit. There's no cap on the claims. Also, if you need your system rotted out, you have cracks, anything, it covers all of that. So they're going to have an 800 number that we're putting together. It's going to be a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation. And I was just really impressed at a lot of the information that I was given. So we're going to be rolling that out. I'm really thinking that we might even have a little informational workshop. So really people are really fully informed about what it means for each individual and people that are on a fixed income. So I really encourage people to use it. I know they have it in Sauk Village, Richton Park, Hazel Crest, and a bunch of other communities. I did reach out. They did say it was a good program, and a lot of the residents did like it. It's an additional fee if you want to have stormwater coverage, and I think that's around $12.75.
That's a monthly charge?
It's a monthly charge. It has nothing to do with Aqua, and you can cancel it anytime you're not in a contract. So it's amazing, and I hope everyone takes advantage of it. So another thing I want to talk about, we did apply. I have that here, if you could pass that down. Through Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, I think someone came up at a board meeting last year asking about applying for a grant for asylum seekers. So we just found out last week we received $368,946.50 to assist the migrants. They're here. There's over 1,000 migrants. If you watch the news, there's been a real uptick in the measles. So I thought it was really important to get this. One thing that we did write in this grant was to have services, health services provided. That protects our community. So we're going to be offering vaccinations and things like that. Also, one of the biggest complaints they had was dental, so we're working to get a dental mobile. I'm not putting any of that together, so we're working with Respond Now, who is someone who Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, their people brought to the table. So they're going to be working with us to put this together. We're going to hire a community liaison. They're also going to pay a certain percentage of my salary for the work that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be, the grant money has to be expended by June 30th. We're going to have a food pantry for the migrants. I heard there's some issues with food for them. Even though there was something in the grant about housing assistance, they did turn me down for that because the state has regulations in place. It was 6 months that they were giving for the assistance for housing. They cut it down to 3. They told me that they do not want me to extend it for the migrants in University Park because everyone else will kind of kick up dust about, you know, why are we getting that? So we did get that cut of the budget, but this is going to go a long way. They are going to pay for translators for the department so that we have those and different things like that, clothing. So we're going to, we're looking forward to assisting them. Also, we are submitting several requests. The mayor signed these tonight for congressionally directed spending. We're asking for just a few things, $5 million for local roadway improvements, municipal facility improvement program that's in the amount of $10 million. That's going to include the town center, the police department, the fire department. Also, and when I say fire department, I mean 1 and 2. Also, we're submitting a stormwater system improvement program, so we'll see what happens with that. We purchased new flags for the town center, the golf course, PD, and the fire department. If you go by the golf course now, you'll see that there's no longer the shredded Huckleberry Finn flags. They're new, they look amazing, so please check them out. Today, I met with Ms. Truss regarding Regal Farm, and we're going to be meeting subsequently with a gentleman that has a lot of history there by the name of, I believe, Reginald. Mrs. Truss, correct me if I'm wrong. To get some background information, I'm asking anyone in this community, if you have pictures, mementos, postcards, any other items, pictures, documentation, surveys, anything related to Regal Farm, if you would be so kind as to make copies. If you're unable to make copies, if you would allow me to, I will take care of it and make copies. We're trying to turn the administrative building into a historic place for this community with a lot of history. So we want to put that on the walls instead of just having random pictures so that the kids in the future in this community will know where the individuals came from in this community and to give them a just a snapshot of how great and vibrant the community is and what it will be again. We had a Zoom meeting with Robinson Engineering and the EPA this past week, specifically Jonathan Flowers regarding funding. We went into details and the history of what brought the village to this point with the water situation, our legal standing, etc. I also had emails with the USDA, so we're going to follow up with some grants that may be available for some remediation for the short term for the lead pipes, lead pipe replacement and the solder. We're continuing to have monthly meetings with the RTA for the special financing study, and that deals with the development of the area around the Metro Lot East. We also met, the mayor, myself, a few other individuals met with the cannabis company, also a housing developer, and we had a third interview for homes for a changing region. Mayor Rudez, they specifically requested that Mayor Rudez attend that meeting, and I think it was really productive. I can't remember the young lady's name, but she was a former mayor up north, and her and the mayor had really good conversation. I think it helped us also. So they let us know that we're in the next phase, and they are really considering our application. There are many people that applied, many other communities, but they did tell us that we're advancing. Also, I've been working to pay off some of the TIF agreements. We just paid Clorox, and I'm working to reconcile and pay CBRE, which is one of the people that we had litigation with, which is otherwise known as Big Box. Also working on the golf course, updating the menu, creating the new membership flyer, interviewing for landscaping crews. We recently had the septic tank cleaned, getting the Bassett certification for staff, staffing the pro shop with all of the golf shirts and things like that that golfers love. And also I have been having to provide updated financials to Midland Bank, also with an explanation because they wanted to know why our audits weren't updated and things, so they wanted some unofficial bank stuff and all kinds of information. So Chris and I have been working with Midland Bank to get that to them. We did get them everything they needed. They needed statements over the past, I think it was 4 years. So we just completed that. That took us about two and a half weeks to get all of that together. So we're waiting for something back from Midland Bank. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to say this is an amazing month for women. And we have a lot of women that sit on this board, and girls run the world. So thank you and happy Easter.
Manager Scott, could I please get a copy? Could you email it to me, your report?
Give me Mr. Ellis that mic, please.
I'd like to know if you're gonna, at Rico Barn, if you're gonna decorate the field for the kids to play baseball this summer.
We're gonna work on that. That's a meeting that we're gonna have to try to get that right.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
This is also services that the other residents can be able to take part in.
Unfortunately, no. This money was specifically money that was put forth, I think it was a total of $40 million. This was in response to the number of migrants that have been coming through the state. And the reason why they decided, I guess, to put this money aside and segregate it was so that they wouldn't supposedly touch the money that's set aside in the state appropriations and their budget. So this money is specifically a response to the surge and the migrants that have come here because we're a sanctuary city, and so the outlying areas have been just inundated and we're not able to accommodate them. We've had so many people come into Village Hall wanting to communicate with us, and we do not have the staff to communicate properly, so they are going to pay for a community liaison. That money has to, like I said, be expended by June 30th. So we are looking to do other things, to have the food pantry that would be inclusive of all of the residents, but this was money that was available, and, they're here.
That's what I'm saying, like, if you're having food pantries and whatever giveaways, is it, like, let me check your ID and see if you are...
It's like your...
Yes, it's earmarked, and they will be checking their papers and documentation. I'm not specifically doing that, so to speak, but this nonprofit Respond Now, they're working with us to make sure that the money is properly accounted for.
All right. Who wants to start with trustee comments? Trustee Butch, you want to start off? Have you got anything?
I just wanted to say, spring break is coming next week for the children. I wish everybody a happy time, a safe spring break. I kind of also wanted to address like the residents in general, and to the board and the community itself. There's a lot of residents over this past year who has actually had strokes, heart attacks, some type of form of that. And I don't know what's happening in University Park. So I'm just asking for the residents to pray for one another and pray for University Park in regards to the amount of people that are really suffering or has passed away because of strokes, heart attacks. Now, I kind of said, let me look and see what could it be. So I looked up, like, hey, maybe it's the exposure, I'm just throwing it out there, of lead. So I looked up, can lead looked it up, I read a lot of different things, and it said lead has long been recognized to be a cause of hypertension and a risk factor for heart disease, stroke, and chronic kidney disease. Lead exposure has also been associated with an increased incidence of clinical cardiovascular endpoints such as coronary heart disease, stroke, and peripheral arterial disease. Now, a lot of our residents are experiencing these things. I don't know if it has to do with the exposure of lead, but this is something that we need to look at, should be put out to our attorneys. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, because there's a lot of reasons people have strokes and heart attacks. I know that. I know there's a lot of symptoms that causes that. But for over this past year, it has been a lot here in University Park. This 2024, we only are in, what is this, March?
Third month, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the third month, and a lot of people, I'm just hearing too many. So I just wanted to throw it out there. I don't know if it's the community or whatever, but I just want us to pray for University Park community as a whole, for our health and for our safety, and if we need to go get checked out, make sure we get checked out and make some changes, but I did wanted to put that out there.
Hey, Trustee got a question. If you know of anybody who's had one of those problems, and just maybe ask them if they've been tested.
Yeah, a lot. That's what I'm saying. I wish they could be tested. I don't know. I know the fire department, if you can go there and get your blood pressure checked, right? He's not here, so I can't double check.
Yeah, I got you.
But it's just different, you know.
I just want to say, I had a stroke 2 years ago, and I took my neighbor to the bank car, see the doctor, came back, go to the bank, and I found out I took away my name. And my daughter said, I was a stroke. I did.
You did?
Now, I got a post-op, buddy. Who's at home right now, ain't that big.
Here in town, Jim?
No, it's stuck.
Okay.
I'm just saying here, I just know it's been a lot here just in University Park, so I don't know what that could be, but I just wanted to put it out there. So I have been praying for University Park community as a whole.
Is there any way that we can
Thank you, Trustee.
the water in our park, in our house, with lead now? Because it is happening, and
We'll see.
Sometimes you just want to look and say, like, what's happening? Why is there so many people? And I'm like, well, over the past, since 2015, they were exposed, so that's what came up. And I didn't, it just came up. So that's just something that, just to have them tested, at least go test and make sure that you're not having any poison or things going on in your home. I don't know. I just pray for the community. That's all.
All right. That it, Trustee?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Trustee, J-Mac, I'm coming over, Trustee Williams. You good tonight? You got something to say? Go ahead, sister.
All right, everyone. This weekend, March 30th through the 31st, is Easter weekend at Faith Movers Church. We are having a community outreach event starting at 10 a.m. until the supplies last. We have Bag Lady Outreach supporting us, United Way of Will County, Amazon, and the food, the food bank.
North Illinois.
Yeah, that's it. And then Sunday, we have Resurrection Sunday at 11 a.m., so please feel free to join us.
Bring 5 people with you.
Yes, bring 5 people with you. And happy Easter to everyone, and the kids have a wonderful spring break.
That sounds like 2 faith movers over there.
Oh yeah, these 2 faith movers right here.
Trustee McFadden.
Yes, ma'am.
The Easter thing, that will be on Easter Sunday.
That will be on Saturday.
Okay.
At 10 a.m. until the supplies last. So get there as soon as possible because they're giving out a lot of stuff.
You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, that's the 30th. Saturday the 30th, and then Sunday is the 31st at 11.
First time in a long time that Easter's actually been in the month of March, and that has something to do with the leap year. This is kind of difficult, kind of strange.
Yeah, it does.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
I like to report that I had the privilege, the honor to go to Washington, D.C. along with the VM Scott, Mayor Rudez, Trustee Lewis, and 2 of our top engineers, Jonathan and Aaron.
We went to the National League of Cities Conference where we got to mingle, where we got to learn and go through workshops, trainings, find out about financing. But the biggest highlight was they had a meeting set aside for us to go to the Environmental Protection Agency headquarters. It was just us and them. We had to go through strict surveillance. When we got upstairs, they escorted us, and in that conference room, we laid it on the line. They had members there that were there via Zoom, and they had members in the room. And when I tell you we laid it out, we laid it out, every one of us. And Aaron, I think it was, he gave a beginning-to-end report of everything this community has gone through. And what Trustee Future mentioned, I told them, I said, we have a lot of deaths. We've been having them for years now. And I can't say whether it was directly or indirectly due to this lead in our water. One of the ladies actually had a clutch your pearls moment when we showed pictures that the mayor had of our schools with the fountains still locked up, taped up, our library. It's unheard of. Our children are in school 8+ hours a day. And for them not to be able to have fresh water, we're not able to wash our fruit, any of this. We have to go to a shed, collect water, and I'm getting more and more people now telling me they're having problems with their arms, their wrists. So what you call that? We did not stop there. We let them know everything from A to Z. When we got back on that plane, VM Scott was already getting messages from the big wigs. Before we left the meeting. Because our situation is unique. We don't own the water. And I think most of y'all know I've been on this from the first day it happened. I haven't missed a meeting. I bring about awareness. I got the signs, whatever it takes. ICC, Citizen Utility Board, we told them everything that we needed to let them know. So we're advocating to get funds to either replace or to buy back our water system or to replace the infrastructure, because we can't continue to live like this. We don't know 5-10 years from now what effect it's having on our bodies. You know, in the beginning, Aqua did let us test to see if we had lead, but maybe at that time it didn't show up. We don't know what's showing now. We have a lot of autistic kids. We don't know what's causing these problems. So I was appreciative to be given that opportunity. I will continue to fight for us when it comes to Aqua. I also wanted to say that I had the privilege to go to a lot of the basketball games for our youth. My great-granddaughter plays on there. When I say she's a star, guys, I'm not playing. Assists, rebounds, she's on it. Tomorrow they have their awards assembly, and God willing, will be attending that. And also, I had the privilege to go to the Inspiring Women's Affair in Richmond Park. And when I tell you, they celebrated those women, they had 25 amazing women. And when you talk about trailblazers and hear their story, it was awesome. I had the privilege to be at the table with Human Resource Manager Leslie Berry. It was awesome. I'm telling you, and we need to do something similar for the women of Will County, because we have the Mary Trusses and the different people here that have been trailblazers, who have been doing the work, and it's time to give people their flowers while they're living. We need to do that. So I'm hoping to spearhead something like that. Also, I wouldn't mind working with Debbie Stroud on bringing back senior programs, because when I looked at Richmond Park, they got everything for their seniors. They got chair exercises, yoga, line dancing, bingo, all kinds of knitting clubs. I mean, you name it, they got it. They sure. And we can do that. It's not even expensive. It just takes somebody to start the practice. I'm that person. Ms. Jenkins out there, she said she would be glad to start. We need to get the ball rolling. So
I want to wish everybody a happy Easter, Resurrection Day, and I'm like Donna Fulcher, pray for this community, which I call it out every single night. Sometimes I think I'm praying more for the community than my household. But I'm just being honest, so God bless you all.
Okay, thank you so much for your comments, thank you for your support, and continue to move forward, because at the end of the day, we don't even want our water. We don't. Let's bring in our new infrastructure, and be patient with us, because this process could be 5 to 10 years, but it has to start sooner or later, and the process is starting. We're asking for federal funding to bring in our own infrastructure, to bring in existing water to our village. That's the whole
One more thing, I just want to thank Ms. Berry for the lovely pens that she's given us.
Thank you.
Thank you, and she is doing an amazing job.
Yes, she is.
No idea.
Thank you, Ms. Berry.
She's working 24/7 for UP.
One thing you all don't know is that you are rock stars, and you have a board that is like 99.9% women.
99.9. I get my vote every single day, man.
But it's not common like that. You got many, still a boys' board.
But if it works for the city, it's good for the people. That's all that counts. Trustee Thompson. So
Just a few short comments. I want to thank Mr. Robinson for allowing me to help him and work on everything we have planned for the veterans. And I have recruited 3 other members since he said he didn't have enough members. I recruited 3 other members, so you're going to see the work that we're going to do. And I want to applaud every woman in this room and every woman in this village that's holding it down. I was thinking about my own life and my daughters and my friends and almost every woman I know is a CEO. Yeah. Because we run our houses, we run our kids, we run our parents. When you get to a certain age, you are running not a multi-million-dollar company, but you're running a company built with love. And so I applaud you all for being great women, and I just want to say happy spring and happy Resurrection Day.
Because me, Mr. Ellis, and Chief, and Mr. Robinson, we already know. We just front as the leaders of the house. We know who the real bosses are.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, then we'll go with Trustee Lewis. Okay, Trustee Lewis.
I just want to say thank you, Gina, for coming along to see the fight that we've been going through for 3 years. We have been at that table several times, and it was a pleasure to have Gina come and see the work, the party that we've been going to see exactly how the process is working, how we sat at the table, how we laid out from A to Z, since we had this water problem since 2019. Gina experienced, got to talk to representative personally. I stepped back in the shadows because I was doing it before. She came in, stepped right in, saying, bringing pictures, giving her testimony, talking to the residents. She explained this. And to see representatives, to hear about our children who could not drink the water. One lady literally was crying. She was crying on the screen to see that our children and residents are hurting in this community. I want to say the mayor, he's been doing it for the last 3 years. He's been in that, we've been in that room, and I'm glad you experienced that, to see that it's no joke down there. It's session, and to be there, to be treated as special people at the EPA. We had everyone from the USDA, the EPA, the ICC, all the top-notch people just to talk to University Park. And before we left that room, Liz had 5 emails before we could get to the elevator to return and give her resources. There's a program, there's another guy that we're working with the USDA to try to find grants for us. And they could not believe that we don't own our own water system. And that's what hurts us with funding. That's the real big problem that hurts us with funding. We do not own the pumping stations. We do not own the transfer lines. We own nothing here in the village. It's all owned by Aqua. So it's a fight when we tell you as the residents, we're trying to get out of the arms of Aqua to get our own water. With that being said, Trustee Williams, I'm glad you experienced the party that we go to every year, and we were doing business. Okay. I want to say, women rule the world here. Okay. Mother's Day, Mayor's Office of Special Events presents the Mother's Day brunch. Let every mother feel special. There'll be a delicious meal, a fashion show, a live band, prizes for Sunday's best dress. Come with your clothes on. Come step out and show out at this event. Wear your best hat. Put your Sunday hat on. I know you got a fascinator. There's a word it's called. Get your fascinator out the closet. Okay. It's $20 per person. It's Sunday, May 12th, 2024, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. University Park Golf Course, 23520 Crawford Road. You can purchase your tickets online at www.university-park-il.com. Please reserve by May 3rd. I want to see the community come out. Put your clothes on. This is an event for all of us, for the women, the mothers. You are a head of households. You work hard. Get dressed up. Put your lipstick on. Get your hair done. Do you. Come on out to the Mother's Day brunch. I know we can do this. I want to see y'all look fabulous. I know y'all look fabulous every day, but I want to see y'all look fabulous on May 12th. I want to see y'all best dressed. Put your heels on, girls. Okay.
Hey, Trustee Lewis, I'll tell you what, I'll start it off, I'll do $100 to the best hat. So,
I'll match you with that 100.
Sound like a plan?
I'll match you with that 100 for the best fascinator, as my mama said. Okay.
All right.
For more information, please contact Sharice Mosley at 708-879-2063. The Mayor's Office of Special Events at gmail.com. For mothers only, the space is limited. Also, the Mayor's Office of Special Event, the Easter egg hunt is Saturday, March 30th, 2024, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's going to be an Easter egg hunt, free games, free foods, inflatables at the Town Center parking lot. Rain or shine. Keep your boots and raincoat in your car and your umbrella, okay? Because we still going to play in the rain. Y'all know how we splashed in that water.
And the maids.
Okay, we going to come out and play. Bring your children. Well, this is Saturday, March 30th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. While supplies last now, okay? We only doing $100 special fascinators at the Mother's Day event, okay? 708, contact Sharice Mosley at 708-879-2063. This is the event for the Mayor's Office of Special Event. Bring all your children, your grandchildren, y'all. Let's just come out as a community and have a good time. Let's go support the library people, run on over there with them, and come on over here to the town center. Let's bridge the gap. Let's bridge the gap. Bridge the gap between the people. We can do both. We can do both.
All right.
Okay. University Park Cares Garden Workshop. All right, now let's get our hands dirty. Saturday, April 6, 2024. Rain date is Saturday, April 13th. Come grow with us. Now, I need y'all because I ain't no grower. Now, Deborah Stroud, I know you get down in the dirt and stuff. We need your expertise back there. Join us for the hands-on gardening workshop at 90 Town Center. Learn, plant, grow with experts, guidance, and a fun and friendly environment. I like that, because I don't know how to grow nothing. My plant was dead. I had to call my brother. He had to tell me what to do with my plant. That was my plant I got from my mother's services, so I had to make sure she was right. Okay, the workshop will highlight interactive learning, planting, gardening maintenance. We welcome experienced gardeners and new gardeners. Please, all ages are welcome. Come out Saturday, April 6, 2024. If there's a rain date, it's April 13th. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Our illustrious Madam Clerk.
Whoa. What can I say?
Turn on the mic.
Oh, wait, one last thing, Madam Clerk, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention this, this is me, okay. The South Suburban News proudly presents 2024 Black Men of Excellence. Of course, our Mayor Joseph Rudess is in there. You got Judge Foreman, Roger Apower, Coward Jordan, Percy Scott, James Ford, Cliff Taylor, Pastor Singleton, Dan Bryan, and our own Joseph Rudess. He's in the paper. I don't even think you know that, did you?
What can I
Men of Excellence.
When you picked that up, you took away my comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to turn my mic off.
But I would like to echo the comments of everyone on this board this evening, especially saluting us ladies, and to really realize what we go through and how important training is as we sit on this board. The more you go, the more you learn. And if you do any partying, it's basically as you get ready to go to bed to sleep. We're in training from, I know our training, we're in training from 7 a.m. and some days until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. But it pays off. And again, I salute all of the ladies, and this time we can say, and the men that support them too.
Yes.
Don't forget Easter, Resurrection Day. Like Trustee Fulcher started off, we must learn to pray for each other. We must learn to accept people for who they are, not try to change them, but try to help them. And we have got to stand tall, proud, prayerful, and lovingly as we go through this life. Now, to all of our board members, our fire and police commissioners, and our plan commissioners and department heads, you should have received a letter or notice from the Will County Department of Economic Interest. Okay? Please check. If you haven't, check your emails, because I did give to them, this is annually, we have to fill out this statement of economic interest. I did provide them with the names and contact information for each one of you that I have noted. If you don't get it done next month or this month, May 1st, you can be penalized and you will have to pay a fine.
You gotta pay.
To each and every one of you, be safe, be loving. Remember, he died for our sins. Let us stop sinning and love on each other. God bless. Happy Easter. Oh, and I wanted to say thanks for the flowers, the gifts, and the calls that I got, and the food for my birthday last week. And cakes too. Thank you.
You weren't old enough to get all that alcohol, but anyway. All right, well, thank you. And I just want to I'll make my comments brief as possible. And I just want to say thank you to all the women. The women deserve all the credit in the world. Sometimes they do all the hard work, and we never acknowledge them, but thank God for the women in our lives and the women that we work with, the women on this board. Women make the world go round. We all have an intricate part to play as we make progress for our community. So thank you again for all the women. You guys are doing phenomenal jobs. We respect, love, and honor you guys in our lives. So thanks again to the women. Also, want to give out a thanks to our Secretary, Pete Buttigieg. If it wasn't for dear old Pete Buttigieg, we wouldn't have that. I might be saying his name wrong. What's his name? Buttigieg. All right, because I didn't call him everything but what his mama named him. But so as we started off this journey to Washington, I had an invitation that I could come out there to invitation to the White House. The invitation said only for the mayor. There was no one else that had the opportunity to go. But that opportunity afforded me to have the opportunity at the White House to speak, probably in front of 50 legislators. Most of them were from the State House. Our own Will County executive was there as we spoke. But I had the opportunity to address Secretary Pete. And I just figured this was the opportunity. I was a little bit nervous. Out there in D.C., you're going through all kinds of bells and whistles. You think going to the EPA and the Department of Interior and those agencies that we went to was tight. Well, you should have seen the 5 different items I had to go to walk into the White House. So I had the opportunity to address them and tell them about the problems that we had here in University Park. To his surprise, that was the first time that he was made aware of this. And to talk about at one time our levels were higher in Benson Harbor, Michigan, Flint, Michigan, and other areas that had breaches of lead in the water. So we came down off the podium and we had an opportunity to have dialogue one-on-one. 5 days later, once I got back from D.C., I got an email from the secretary, and he says, there's an opportunity, and I would like you to assemble your team, and if you can make it back here, we'll be glad to see you. So he had it set up. We didn't have no middleman. We had the director, the decision makers, EPA, Department of Interior, USDA, all the different agencies that would give us an opportunity for funding, and they clearly understood that our goal and intent is to condemn this water system down the line and bring in our own new water system that we can control. And just imagine what a great day that's going to be, because not just alone will it provide fresh, clean water, but it also bring in another source of revenue. For most municipalities that own their own water system, that's a huge part of their budget. So that's another great opportunity. But it gives me such great pleasure to hear Trustee Williams, Trustee McFadden, Manager Scott talk about transfer lines, pumping stations. Trustee Lewis, yeah, I get excited about this stuff because when I hear you start talking about pumping stations, transfer lines, infrastructure, dollars, those are the things that really count. We can all talk about the in-between things, but when it comes to talking legislation that's going to afford us the opportunity to maybe come out of this bondage, to hear my young sisters out there, when I call them young sisters because they're new on the board. I got 17 years here. I'm kind of versed in these things, but I've never had training on how to deal with a water crisis, how to deal with a migrant situation, how to deal with civil unrest, but somehow God has positioned us to, no matter what's thrown our way, that we're able to overcome that. So at the end of the day, the message for everybody in University Park is that it's time to turn to each other and not on each other. And with that being said, may I have a motion for adjournment? Moved by Trustee McFadden, second by Lewis. All in favor? All opposed? By the same sign? None? Thank you. Happy Easter. God bless the village of University Park.